We all know what it's like to have that uncontrollable anger, that feeling of really wanting to crash out or snap on somebody, where everything around you is overwhelming. It's overstimulating. It's like you just want to get away from it all, or you want to fight it off. You want to hurt somebody in a way. And personally, I don't like to be in that energy. I don't like to crash out, and I don't want to be the person snapping on everybody in the room. I was like that at a time, and I'm going to go over that. But being that way is really ugly for me. I just don't like it. I feel like it gives me acne. I feel like it makes me look bitter and resentful, and I just feel like it's just not good for me. I don't like the stuff that I'm doing. I don't like to be out of control with my emotions. I feel like there's better ways for me to express my anger without me being violent, because that violence just leads to a consequence. The person's not going to hear me, and I mean, if it's really serious, you might get like a conviction of some sort. Like, something will always happen to you that's not positive when you act out violently. That revenge or that snapping on people, it doesn't really work out. Like, let me know where that actually worked out, especially if the situation could have been solved through just talking, or through just walking away, or getting somebody else, like an authority, to like deal with it somehow. Like, if it could be solved in that way, why would you not solve it that way, where you can get the proper justice instead of just trying to fight or harm somebody? Because that doesn't really lead to what you really want. What you want is justice, but snapping doesn't give you the justice that you need, and you just look crazy. It doesn't make you actually crazy. Anger is a secondary emotion of hurt. It's where something unfair happens, and where your ego is almost hurt and your emotions are hurt, or it's like something is unfair and it's bothering you to a degree that it's causing that anger to come out. And that's perfectly fine to have that emotion, because anger is just an indicator of something going on in our environment. We need anger because we have to defend ourselves. Now, the way that we defend ourselves is very important. So I want to go over that in this video. So the first thing that you want to do when it comes to controlling that crashing out and like anger, that uncontrollable anger, is practicing awareness. When you're aware of what's causing the anger, what are your triggers, and then you're aware of what your body is doing in the moment, you could start to consciously be aware of when you're getting mad. This is something that I had to learn through therapy, because like, I remember one day I was like praying with a friend, and I was, praying, and I was meditating, saying affirmations, and I was fine, and I thought I was fine. This was the same day, later that day, that my friends were just teasing me, making jokes, and it was just like frustrating me for some reason this particular day. And I just ended up snapping on them and like yelling at them, which is not really a thing I do. Because like I said earlier, I don't like to be really an angry person. It's not really who I am. Like, the anger that I have in these moments is not defining me. It's not who I am as a person every single day. But I digress. But I wasn't able to practice the awareness that I was talking about before. So I was snapping on them, but I wasn't aware that I was about to do that. It's like when you snap, you're doing it and you have no control. And when you practice awareness, you have to learn, how does that anger feel in my body? When someone is pissing me off, how do I feel in my body? Am I getting hot? Is my thoughts starting to like cloud, and I'm starting to like think irrationally? Am I starting to feel frustrated? Am I starting to, want to move? Like, because anger is like that emotion that make you want to move. So if you suddenly have this rush to like run or jump or fight, you can feel that in your body. You can feel the anger, like that energy building up, especially if you're the type of person where you're quiet and like people are making you mad and you're just quiet about it. You need to take that moment where you're quiet to not focus on them, but start to focus on you. Like, okay, I'm starting to feel that frustration build up. I'm starting to feel it. Okay. And then you become conscious of that, because you don't want to just react. You want to respond. And you respond by first being aware of your thoughts and your body. When it comes to your thoughts, what are you thinking? Do you thinking, oh, I want to hit them? Why are they saying that to me? Can you get out my face? Like, these thoughts start in your head. So you have to first think like, okay, am I thinking anything crazy? And sometimes you won't. If your brain is completely blank, but you feel the anger, your body, feel those sensations of like, okay, I'm getting hot. I'm getting real hot. I can feel it on my skin. And then the next thing you want to assess is that, okay, what's the emotion I'm currently feeling? Am I just annoyed? Am I frustrated? Am I just like overstimulated? Like I just need a break? What do I need through this? Like what's going on? What's the emotion? So you can figure out what you really, really need. Now, then that's when you assess the situation. You're aware of, okay, what is this person saying and what are they doing? And what is this current situation? Like what's going on? Because now that you're aware that you're frustrated, you need to then externally be like, okay, what's going on? And then once you do that, this is the moment where you have to really focus. And this is something that all this stuff you have to do, I feel like quite quickly. But once you practice it, you'll start to do it quickly and it'll be like, okay, I'm not going to crash out on them. But also a good technique is to breathe. When you breathe, you're centering and calming down your nervous system so that you can focus. You want to defend yourself in a focused way. You want to be in control of this emotion, okay? Because you know what? Think of like anger like a dragon, or like it's just like a fire breathing dragon, and it wants to burn everything in the environment. But you have to be able to control and be the master of this dragon. And like, you know what? No, I'm not going to allow you to just be destructive in this whole environment. I'm going to focus on what I want to burn up. Whatever in the situation I do want to control and I do want to apply pressure, I'm going to focus that energy there. I'm not going to allow it to be chaotic and destroy everything in my environment while I'm hurting people and just getting into fights every 2 seconds. I'm going to have control over myself and figure out how I want to go about this. So if this person is disrespecting me, I need to figure out, okay, what do I want? Do I want them to hear me right now? What I'm saying? Okay, let me figure out what I want to say. I don't like what you're saying. And if you keep saying that, this is the consequence. The consequence, whatever, I'm about to walk away. I'm not talking to you, or I'm whatever. The consequence. Figure out a consequence that doesn't deal with being violent and harming them, because you don't always need to do that. Unless someone really is physically trying to harm you, then I guess you got to do what you got to do. But what I'm saying is that after you do the breathing and you have the awareness of what you're feeling, you want to be able to respond in a way that suits your needs. Whatever you need. You need to be alone. You need them to get away from you. You need, whatever you need, that's what you should focus on. Or if you just need space, really. For me, I keep saying that because for me, I just like to take space away from people for a second so I can think. And what I would like to really remember for myself is that you want to control the situation. You don't want to let the situation control you, because therefore you're giving the situation power over you. Because a lot of times we'll say, you're making me mad, or they're making me mad, and they cannot make you something. The situation is affecting you, where you're creating that anger and that frustration, and you're allowing it to persist. If you allow the emotion to persist for a long extended period, that's you attaching to the emotion and allowing the emotion to control you. If you snap and blow up, that's you allowing it, because you have to use these techniques of breathing and focusing and responding. And it's not something that you easily magically can do instantly, but it's a practice that I want you to start. And if you do it enough, you'll get good at it. Because for me, I wasn't very good at it. I still kind of felt like snapping on people. But once I became aware of the emotion that I'm starting to feel this anger, then I was able to respond in a way that actually benefited me more. Another way to get out of being in that violent state of mind is to stop watching people, places, and things that are violent. Because a lot of times the anger will come from you watching a parent that was angry. That's how it was for me. Or you're watching reality TV or shows where people fight. That stuff is programming you to be a more violent, aggressive person. And you have to get away from anything that is you are consuming mentally that is creating a version of you. Because that's once again going back to what I was talking about, of an external situation, external thing is controlling your inner. It's allowing you to become an angry person, and it's not naturally who you are. Anger should be a part of your life, but it should not define who you are. People shouldn't say you are an angry person. They should say that you are a person who is having anger in this moment. They shouldn't have to label you as an angry person, but when you are allowing yourself to consistently become angry, you're gonna be the crazy person. You're gonna be the angry person people think. So you have to allow yourself to control yourself. And that control of yourself is actually you taking power over the situation. And a part of that taking that power is not allowing reality TV, not allowing people around you to influence your decisions to be violent, because, like I said earlier, that violence is not giving you what you actually need. And it's kind of dumb if you think about it, because, you know, like when you're fighting, and like, let's say like middle school, high school, where like fighting was like glorified. It's like when you fight, what is this actually getting you? Like when you really start to get violent, what is that really giving you? Like, okay, you beat them up, you taught them a lesson, but now you lost your job. Now you're in jail. Now you're kicked out of school. It's like, how is this actually benefiting you long term? You let the anger out. But anyways, a lot of times somebody will beat somebody up and still be angry towards them and still bitter towards them and still don't like them. The anger doesn't leave. And that emotion not even leaving your system is going to cause mental and spiritual effects on you. You still being angry after the fact is still going to cause damage on you. So you don't really win. You don't really win, because the authority figures that are around, police, teachers, supervisors, other employees, they're not going to be able to understand where you're coming from if you are causing a big situation when you don't have to, when there's other ways to go about it. Therefore, if you are willing to fight and you are willing to just allow your uncontrollable anger to persist, you need to also own up to the consequences of your actions. Because if you it's like law of attraction. You're putting out this negative energy. You're doing this negative thing of fighting, of harming when you don't have to. Then don't be surprised when a negative consequence comes your way when you didn't even need it, when you were the person in the right, when you deserve justice. But what's going to happen is that since you put out that nasty energy, it's going to come back to you and it's going to be your fault. And I don't want that for you. So that's why I'm making this video, because a lot of people might be like, oh, it's corny. What is he talking about? Like, you can't be peaceful all the time and that and that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is be assertive, be defensive of yourself, but learn how to be strategic in what you do. You want to be able to control and not let the situation control you. That's it. So if you enjoyed this video, I appreciate you watching. If you watched to the very end, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the amazing, beautiful things. And I want you to leave a fire emoji in the comments if you like this video and, you know, you got something from it. And don't forget to send it to somebody else. Tell them to comment a fire emoji. And I will see you guys in my next video. See you later.